side is the rough spot.
Below. Welcome to the November meeting of the Town Board of Zoning Review. Evening, sitting with me, I'm the chair. My right is Jason Renone, followed by Jason Nystrom, Vice Chair Vera Holby, Michael Elves, and John Francis. We have a forum here. Mr. Francis is the alternate. He will be participating in the hearing and asking questions, and providing any comments he may have. But he won't be voting unless another member recuses themselves. Voting member, and if any matter is continued, a future date, will be available to participate in that continuation of the hearing. So having determined that we have a quorum here, the first matter is the approval of minutes from the October 20th meeting. Does anyone have any discussion on those minutes? Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, very good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the minutes from October approved. There are no items listed under old business, so we can get to new business. The first application is number 2144 for Tourister Mill LLC, the owner, and Terry Sanford, the applicant, 91 Main Street, Plat 2, Lot 1. The request for a special use permit under Section 3250, allow professional office use, specifically a therapy and mental health counseling business in the Essex zoning district. Mr. McCoy is here, and Ms. Stanford.
Good to see you. Okay. Yes, as you noted, Ms. Salmon is with me. This is again the addition for special use from the Tourist Mill. I think this actually is the last commercial space. And just very briefly, and I application, same as practice. Therapy. She can certainly let me know questions. She'll be there with one other counselor. Approximately once a week. This is 700 square feet of space. 78 parking spaces. Side, I know like to keep tabs on the parking situation, so I updated the analysis. 292 commercial spaces approved for the tourism project. Assuming the approval of the same tonight, that will get us to 172 spaces approved for phase one. 42, that gets us to 15. So if the math is correct, we still have 76 spaces. So beyond again, 700 square feet. She attends between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. weekdays and 7.
Does anyone on the board have any additional questions about this application?
I think my only question would be, do you have a standing base of clients that you have now, or is this a new business from scratch you're looking to build in towards? Great. And how many clients a day, sir? But generally one at a time.
And are you the only employee of the business at this time? So it'd just be you and then clients coming for appointments scheduled throughout the day.
Yes, so. I work. Operates on her own.
Anything else right now? Okay. Let's ask if anyone in the public has any comments or questions about this application. Seeing any. Back, so while we had that in from public comment, did anyone think of anything else they'd like to question the applicant? Or I think this is fairly similar in vein to many other businesses. Complex. It is indeed the type of business that's contemplating in this zone. See that we state of basically full occupancy. So with that, do you have any other closing remarks or any other information you'd like to share? Very good, excellent. All right, so would anyone like to move forward with a motion on this application?
I'll kick us off. I'll move approval of application 21-44, Tourister Mills LLC owner and Carrie Sandman applicant, 91 Main Street, plat map 2, lot 1. Request for a special use permit under section 32-50 to allow professional office use in a therapy and mental health counseling business in the S zoning district. In approving this special use permit, we will note that it is compatible with the neighboring land uses. There are other similar professional businesses currently resident in the Tourister Mills project. This particular use will not create a nuisance or hazard in the neighborhood, as there will only be one therapist working at any given point in time. There is plenty of ample parking. They will only be seeing one client at a time. It is compatible with the comprehensive community plan, as this is improving the business base in the town of Warren. They're actually stealing some professional services from Bristol in this instance and establishing it as a standalone business here in Warren. And as such, public convenience and welfare will be served, as this is an additional therapeutic and business service that will then be locally available to people.
Are there any additions or modifications to that motion?
I believe we probably should do business hours. The hours of operation for this business will, for the sake of rounding it off, we will say will be 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. So the half day noted on Saturday could be at any point during those times.
What time do you come in?
8 p.m.
Nine.
So allowable business hours between the hours of 10 a.m. and 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
Okay. Any other conditions? Is there a second on the motion?
Second it.
Okay, all in favor of this motion?
Aye.
Aye. The motion is passed unanimously. Good luck. I'm very happy to have you. Good night, Mr. McCoy. Thank you as always. Okay, we can certainly entertain that. So the suggestion is that we move number 3 to the number 2 position. Does the board have any discussion on that? So I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda.
So moved.
Okay, so we're motion to amend the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we'll be moving number 3 to number 2. So this is application 20-47 for Jeffrey and Rochelle Lees, owners, and John Sheridan, applicant. 5 Calder Drive, plat 16, lot 352. They're requesting an extension of a variance under section 3277 to allow relief from the front and side yard setbacks to connect the existing house and garage in the R20 residential overlay district. Good evening. So you were here previously and had an application, and now you're seeking an extension to that. Just give us a brief summary of what the necessity of the extension. I think we've talked about that. So you would, requesting you would have an extra 6 months to obtain your building permit to begin the project due to delays and unforeseen circumstances resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay. Do any board members have any questions on the reason for this extension? Any? Is there anyone in the public who'd like to offer comments or has questions on this application? Doesn't appear to be. Does the board have any additional information they'd like to hear from the applicant? Do you have any closing statements you'd like to make regarding this? Seems fairly self-explanatory. This is unfortunately a relatively common circumstance of late. A number of extensions of this. Does anyone would like to entertain a motion on this application?
Material shortages. and shortages. Start early.
Okay, are there any conditions or amendments? Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. So you got an extra 6 months to start. You cannot start within that 6 month period, but unfortunately, have to return. But all you have to do is get your building permit pulled before the 6 months. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next matter under new business would be application 2145, Daniel and Kristen Francis, the owners and applicants, 28 Bradford Street, Plat 7, Lot 23. They're requesting a variance under 3277 and 3288F to construct a carport with less than the required side yard setbacks and to exceed the maximum lot coverage in the R10 zoning. Good evening to Mr. Francis. So if you want to give us an overview of what you're planning to do with this project and why there's a hardship. So on the built carport, the existing garage and the proposed setback is 4 feet from the property line to the edge of the carport on the side of the carport. When did you construct the house? So you constructed the house in 2006, and you had a variance at that time for the setbacks on the house. Is a lot that wasn't appropriate. Okay. Board, have any line of inquiry on carport and hardship here?
Good question. For today, and got a few things that here. Anyway, I haven't drawn. So I understand the problem was. Your 10-foot garage door sort of works. Yeah. So is that 12-foot post gonna go on the pavement or will that be on the grass? Just to give- how did it? You.
By building this carport or building lot coverage is current. So the chart here says currently 19% of property, and you're increasing it to 20%, although on the application, it says you're covering 10.146%, you're only going up to 30. Okay, so we'll disregard that. So are you saying it's going over the 20%? Likely. Or can you say there's a shed on the property? You know how big that is? So there's an 8, was that figured in your overall calculation of the 20%? It's 8 by 10. You got about 80 feet there. So it might be as much as 21%. That, what is this lot? A little over 5,000 square feet. Carport's adding an additional 220 square feet. Maybe on the safe side, we approximate 22% lot coverage. Maximum that are including carport. Shed. We don't have the dimensions of the house. Right. House is 20 by 38. 28 by 38. We have full shed. All right, well, we're figuring that out. So the reason for the hardship is that the lot was a substandard lot to start with, so you didn't have these setbacks. So because of the unique size or dimensions of the property, there's no other place on the site for a carport. Because on the opposite side of the house, it is closer to the property line already, and there's certainly no to put a carport there. It would be impractical to put a carport behind the house because of the driveway, so that needs. So in order to add the carport, based on the existing property dimensions,
Would actually be a 26%.
26 inch. That's the estimated.
Yeah, without the bulkhead, we end up at 25.8%. So
Okay. Could be a condition that this expansion. And you said the driveway is already paved on that side of the house? So the carport is going over top of an already paved area. But we're currently parking there. All right, you just want to add it up. All right, so, the revised information about lot coverage, 4-foot setback is being requested. Any other comments or questions from the board? Okay, we're obligated to ask if anyone in the public has any comment. I'm not seeing anyone present, so I think that's a no. Is there any further discussion by the board on this request? Okay. Do you have any other closing remarks, information you'd like to present about the proposed carport? Is there someone who'd like to make a motion on this application?
Neighborhood fee is parking. Not a lot is. It's one person part of the park, car. Surrounding area. That's versus necessary. Property line. And his neighbor. Join neighbor.
Are there any modifications or conditions on this motion?
We will note that the requested variance is for a side yard setback of 4 feet, where 15 feet is required. We will condition the approval on the total lot coverage not to exceed 26%. Uh, 6 feet. 6 feet required. Yes. Oh, gotcha. Yes,
So the 6 feet required is asking.
for 4.
Any other conditions or amendments? Is there a second?
Aye.
Passed. So the next matter on the agenda, under administrative matters, the proposed 2020 calendar was circulated and we discussed last month. You just need to vote on the calendar so that it can be formalized. Any further discussion on the calendar?
Just like Mr. Sherlock had mentioned last month, I can't do the January 19th, but I have a slate of alternates.
Yes, and I potentially will not be available on May the 18th, but I'm sure we'll be able to carry on. So I think, I know Mr. Brilliant said he wasn't available for July, but I think as we get closer to July, we can see if there's a need to change the date, because perhaps there may not be a heavy agenda, or may not be any matters that need detailed analysis on it. So I would recommend a motion to approve the dates as circulated. If someone would like to make some.
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So the calendar is approved and circulated. I would, under administrative matters, make one additional note. I'd like to request if Rhonda could possibly circulate before the next meeting the current rules and procedures of the boards coming to the end of the year. We could all reread those in case they need a refreshing for the new year. So on next month's agenda, I'd like to have a brief discussion if there's any points that need updating. Plus, we have a number of new members that maybe weren't privy to the original discussion. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to contribute? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah,